Keep track of all the books, journal articles, websites, reports, all of the sources you draw on when you're researching your assignments so that you can cite and reference them. Failure to cite and reference your sources is plagiarism, so it's important to get this right. If you've been asked to cite and reference your sources in MHRA style using the author-date system, here's how to do it. Step 1 is to find your style guide. A style guide will tell you exactly what your in-text citations and the references in your bibliography need to look like in MHRA style. Because there are two versions of MHRA, one is the author-date system and the other one uses footnotes, I'm going to suggest you consult two different style guides to get this right. The first one is the official MHRA style guide, which is freely available online. It tells us that MHRA author-date style has two parts. The first part is an in-text citation that interrupts the body of your text, comprising of an open bracket, author surname, date of publication, and, if you're using a direct quotation or paraphrasing a specific part of a work, a page reference, followed by a closing bracket. Notice that there is no punctuation between the author's surname and the date, and that a colon and a space precede the page number. This in-text citation shows where you're drawing on something you've read. The second part to MHRA style is a corresponding reference in your bibliography, which appears at the end of your assignment. The information given in this reference will help anybody who is looking for the original source to find it easily. So use this style guide to help you format your in-text citations correctly. Say I've been reading John O'Flynn's chapter, Performance, Transmission and Identity Among Ireland's New Generation of Traditional Musicians, which appears in this book, called Learning, Teaching and Musical Identity, Voices Across Cultures, edited by Lucy Green, and say I want to cite and reference something on page 260 of that chapter. Using the format described in the style guide, my in-text citation will look like this. The other style guide, the one we recommend for formatting the references in your bibliography, is called Cite Them Right. To find Cite Them Right, go to the library website, click on Learning Support and Citing and Referencing, select Cite Them Right and click on Cite Them Right online. If you're not already logged in, you may be prompted for your DCU username and password at this point. Click on Choose Your Referencing Style and choose MHRA Style. You'll then select the type of source you're using from the quick links at the top or from the fuller list below. Cite Them Right covers most, if not all, information types. It's fairly intuitive, so go in and have a look for the one you need. For example, it shows me how to reference printed books, ebooks, chapters or sections of edited books, journal articles, web pages, Instagram, musical scores and plays. You get the idea. Our example is a chapter in an edited book, so I'll click on that. Cite Them Right tells us what information we'll need to record about our source to correctly reference it in MHRA style. So, for a chapter in an edited book, we need to record that the author of the chapter is John O'Flynn. The title of the chapter is Performance, Transmission and Identity Among Ireland's New Generation of Traditional Musicians. We need to record that it appears in a book called Learning, Teaching and Musical Identity, Voices Across Cultures, that was edited by Lucy Green, published in Bloomington by Indiana University Press in 2011, and also that the chapter spans pages 252 to 266. Let's take this information back to Cite Them Right. As you're following the MHRA author-date system, you can ignore the information given here about footnotes. You'll use Cite Them Right to help you format the references in your bibliography only. To format the full reference that goes at the end of your work, use the example in the box on the left for guidance, and the box on the right to help with your formatting. Take their information out and put your own information in, leaving any punctuation, italics and capital letters firmly in place. This helps you get your formatting right in MHRA style. Then copy ready for pasting into your bibliography. Notice the link to expanded MHRA guidelines on the left side of your screen, which explain everything you need to know about MHRA style. If, for example, there are 4 or more authors, we write the name of the first author, followed by and others. We also read that in our bibliography we're going to write surname, followed by forename of the first author, but forename followed by surname of the second author. There's also an example there that tells us how we should deal with 3 authors. This section tells you exactly what your bibliography needs to look like to correctly follow MHRA style. Take the time to read through the guidelines before you start formatting your bibliography entries so you understand how the style works. For instance, note that the references in your bibliography don't end in a full stop, and that we must indent the second and subsequent lines of each reference in our bibliography. This is sometimes called hanging indentation. Also note that we're going to capitalise the first letter of the first word, all nouns, adjectives and verbs, and we'll use this format for URLs and DOIs. Finally, we'll use P. or PP. For books, but not for showing the page range of a journal article. The format of this helpful box follows all of these rules. Copy and paste the reference you've created in Cite Them Right into your bibliography in Microsoft Word. To indent the second and subsequent lines of all the references in your bibliography, as the style guide told us to do, highlight all of the references in your bibliography, go to Paragraph and the small box in the bottom right hand corner, go to Indentation, Special, choose Hanging, and click OK. So that's it, how to correctly cite and reference your sources in MHRA style using the author date system and the MHRA guide, and Cite Them Right as your style guides. If you have any questions about how to cite and reference your sources in MHRA style, please get in touch.